We've had a lot of discussion today, and we've had a lot of discussion about this issue over the past year. I want to start by reflecting on something that the bill's author just said, because I think it is absolutely salient to this discussion and to this bill and to how we vote on this bill. He said, nothing gets done around here fast. Couldn't agree with him more. And therein lies the problem. We are not built to be an expeditious body. We are not built to make quick responses, which is exactly what is called for in times of an emergency. Hence the need for the executive branch, who is in a position to do that, particularly in the case of a historic pandemic. I'll just reflect quickly that Minnesotans get it. There was a poll recently done by KSTP with Survey USA, and they asked Minnesotans the right question, because there's been so much either-or discussion about this topic. Businesses should be open without restrictions, or they should be closed. Schools should be completely open, or they should be closed. The question that was posed to Minnesotans by this poll was, how do you think the state's response has been to the pandemic? And one answer was, we've gone too far in trying to keep people healthy. Another response was, we've gone too far in trying to keep things open. And the other one was, in the middle was, we're striking the right balance. Guess which one got the top response? We're striking the right balance. We know that there are so many needs that are posed and so many consequences that are brought about by this pandemic. Yes, there are obvious issues with health and lives and protecting our healthcare system so that it wasn't overwhelmed and diminished. We also have to worry about our kids' well-being and their learning. We also have to worry about just people's mental health. The mental health reports as a result of this pandemic have been stark. Never mind the business activity and supporting our businesses, particularly when up until right now, there hasn't been an adequate federal response. We had to balance all those things, and most people believe that the governor has struck a pretty good balance. But I want to come back to this conversation about the purpose of this bill and how that fits into this conversation. We keep hearing over and over and over again that we have to have this bill so that the governor will work with the legislature, because otherwise he will not work with the legislature. I agree, the letter that he sent with his list of, call them demands, call them concerns, call them issues that he thinks need to be addressed, that was a discussion. That was an opening discussion. Let's talk about it. Why aren't we sitting down about this? We had 7 special sessions after we adjourned regular session last year, and we've been here for several months. I think looking at the majority party say that, hey, unless we have a timeline to force us to engage, we're not going to do anything is not exactly a responsible position to take. Again, there are 3 branches of government, as everybody has gone back to Schoolhouse Rock today, which I'm glad to see, but there are 2 bodies that make up the legislative branch. And the voters have seen fit to put a narrow majority of the Republican Party in this body. They have seen fit 2 elections in a row to put the DFL in the majority in the House. And we have a DFL governor also courtesy of Minnesota voters. The majority party in this body can pass any bill it wants. I've said that a few times on this floor over the past year. Call hearings, draft legislation, have debates, bring them to this floor, pass them on a strictly party line vote, and we have taken action. Now, if we want it to get out of the entire legislature, ideally we work with the other body and compromise. And then we could have a bill that could also get passed out of the House, or we go, as Senator Osmek reminded us, to conference committees and we work it out that way. But we have to pass something out of the legislature, and then guess what? The governor then has to deal with the legislature. There is a path to do this, and the majority party has full power to participate in that process. Could have done it for the past year if so inclined. But instead, it's really not about a concrete plan, actionable steps that we want to take. It's about get rid of it, end it now, and then we'll see what happens. Well, that's not responsible. And Minnesotans, I think, have spoken up and said they appreciate the balance. We all hope that this emergency is over soon. We all hope that we can be done with this by the time regular session ends, that we can work together to make sure that the things that are contained in those executive orders are handled responsibly so that we don't leave Minnesotans without important safety nets as we emerge out of this. That's what leadership would look like. That's what I think we need to do. Senate File 4 takes us in the wrong direction, and members should vote no on this bill.